At that time, you had some work going on.
Yep.
And maybe you could relay that story. And
Yep. Yeah. So I missed my father's funeral because I just moved to Romania. I had just invested every single penny I had in this enterprise. I was now the oldest man alive in the Tate family. I had to look after my mother and my siblings and take care of people. I had to make a choice. Do I fly back to America and spend money and time and go to this funeral and, waste a few weeks? Or do I sit here and just focus on this enterprise and make sure that it cannot fail? And we talked earlier about speed. Most people go, it's only 2 weeks. It's only a week. It's only a week. The people who say it's only a week are the people who are broke.
They don't value time.
That's the reason you're all poor, because you say it's only a week. So, it's tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it later. It's only an hour. It's only a day. It's only a minute. You are competing against people like me. We do not waste a second. So I had to make a decision. And I decided that as the oldest man in the family, it's more important that I achieved financial stability for all of us than to go and pay respects to my father and his funeral, because I paid respect to him every single day of his life. And I pay respect to his memory every single day now. And I pay respect to him by being monumentally successful. The reason my father is talked about and discussed at length is because of the absolutely amazing son I've become. Yeah. I am keeping him alive forever by working so hard, by becoming so unique and individual and fantastic and humble. The world asks me about my upbringings, and then my father's memory is kept alive. So I know I made the right decision, and I know he's happy with the decision I made. Yeah. A lot of people would have gotten emotional and decided, I had to go to the funeral and had a breakdown and went to the funeral and been sad, et cetera, et cetera. And
you did what your dad thought.
I did what I was taught to do, which is perform. Yeah. That's what I was taught to do. I was upset, obviously. I was sad, obviously. I was heartbroken, of course. But I took all of that energy, and I worked harder than I've ever worked. I worked 22-hour days for months because I couldn't sleep. Yeah. And I became one of the most successful people on the planet.
Would you say that's how you get over a tragic loss like that?
I think that any emotion you feel should be converted into positive
influence.
Yeah, you should do good things with any emotion you feel. I can't. What else are you going to do with it? And this is a genuine question. Yeah. What else? If let's say your wife breaks your heart, if you're not going to work. You can't sleep anymore. You're upset. She's running around with a new dude. You see her Instagram story. She's got some new guy. You're furious and you're angry and you're jealous and you're bitter. You have all of this inside of you, but you're not going to go to the gym and work hard and become so fantastically in shape and so rich and so powerful that no girl ever leaves you again. You're not going to do that. No. What are you going to do with it? Text her? Try and explain to her? She doesn't care. Like you can write the most perfect English. You can write the most beautiful words ever constructed. Forget Shakespeare. You can do. It doesn't matter. She doesn't care. She just doesn't care. She's distracted.
She forgot about you.
She forgot about you. So what are you going to do with all of that inside of you if it's not positive? Well, it's going to consume you, and you're going to end up self-destructive, or you're going to embarrass yourself, or you can take all of that and put yourself in a position where it never happens to you again. Yeah. Those are the choices. So. What's the most intelligent choice to make? Yeah. I don't understand how many humans function in the world today. I don't get people who don't think like me. I don't understand it. I'm like, well, then how have you survived this long? Life is hard. Life is difficult. Maybe I've just been unlucky, which I don't believe in, but I've had so much trauma and bad events and negativity and stress and all these things that have happened to me. And I've used all of it to be monumentally successful. If I wasn't that way inclined with the workload that God put on my shoulders, I'd just be in a ditch somewhere. Yeah. I just would have killed myself by now. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how people are functioning. If you're not thinking like me and you're going through life with any other mindset, you've been extremely fortunate that God smiled on you and allowed you to sit around most of the time doing jack shit, and you have yet to be punished for that. Yeah. I could never have lived that life. If I was a bit lazy or a bit, or I was a bit of a snake, or if I lied to people, I'd be dead by now. Yeah. Like, so a lot of these people are just absolutely and utterly blessed by God that they managed to go through life with such a non-competitive mindset and they still breathing. Like, I don't understand how people can think any other way. Yeah. I've spoken to dudes and like, I had a bad couple months. Why? My girl left me. You've wasted months? You've wasted months over some like you had think of how much God loves you to have given you the grace and given you the opportunity to waste months of human time over some chick. Like, talk about blessed head to toe. If I waste months, empires are going to collapse. I'm going to end up in a cell or dead if I waste months. I have things to do every single day. I can't waste a second. Yeah. Like, these people are just absolutely infinitely blessed. And Their mindset is a product of that because they're spoiled children. Absolutely spoiled children. If you're going through life with any other mindset besides a hyper competitive one, where you are capable of competing with some of the most dangerous men on the planet in all their forms, me and my network, and also my competitors. If you don't have that mindset, then you have to understand that you are spoiled. Yeah. You're spoiled by your reality because there's a whole bunch of people out here daily who fail. There are men out here who fail daily and they have yet to feel the true consequence for it. They fail to go to the gym when they know they should have gone to the gym. They fail because they forgot their keys and it took them 10 minutes to find them. They fail because they replied to a question they got sent on WhatsApp the wrong way. They fail because they didn't smile when they were supposed to. They didn't say please and thank you to that person who helped them. They fail because they didn't say hi to that girl who's looking at them out the corner of their eye. They just fail perpetually. They go through life missing every opportunity and just failing. And somehow we've built a society which is so soft and God is so giving and so graceful that they still have a place to eat and somewhere to sleep, and they're still surviving. That shows how nice God is. Yeah. Because before this society, truthfully, if you were that level of failure, you would be dead.
Survival of the fittest.
It's survival of the fittest. And none of these men out here are fit. No. Their mindset isn't fit. Their reality isn't fit. They're failures.
Physically, mentally.
They're failures. Yeah. And they're just failing every single day. I'm like, oh, but you know what? Tomorrow I'll go to the gym. Yeah. You've been failing your whole life. That's all you've done is fail. And then you sit and wonder why people like me absolutely and utterly outcompete you. It is so easy to become a top tier male in the world today because the competition is so ridiculously low. There are 2% killers like me and everybody else is amateur, head to toe amateur. They can't even pay attention to anything. They can't try at anything. They're amateurs. And it's really mind blowing to me because I've tried with all of my computational power to imagine having a mindset different to mine. And I just can't see a reality worth having. I can't see a reality worth living. I can't see how you're going to build a life worth experiencing if you have any other mindset. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I've never met somebody with a fantastic life who did not completely and utterly believe in themselves. I've never seen somebody massively succeed and they didn't believe in themselves. Ever. I've never seen somebody who just allows life to happen to them and become blown off course by some sadness, end up doing massively monumental and important things. I've never seen it.
It's never happened.
It does, and it's never going to happen because it's competitor. It's like crypto. It's player versus player.
Right.
And there's people like me out here. So when that breaks your heart and you take a few months off and she ends up on my jet and I get rid of her and I don't give a shit.
It was because you never took those months off. You were always working.
Yeah, that's right. And if she leaves me afterwards, let's say she just likes to leave men, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still working. You're still crying. You can't possibly ever beat me. I'll continue to beat you into eternity, as will my bloodline. You will sit and pay the price for the rest of your human years. Even your ancestors above you are disappointed in you, and your offspring for the rest of your lineage will look up and say, my great-great-great-grandfather was a loser because I broke his heart, and now we've been broke ever since.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
But you know what's crazy? Because I feel like your life, the way when you talk about it, it's so much struggle, it's so much hardship. But still, you consider yourself the most luckiest person.
I'm absolutely the luckiest man on the planet.
Because still now, you still have a lot of hardship. You're getting hit from this direction, from that direction. You know what I mean? So how do you, first of all, if you could mention some of the moments where you were really struggling in your life, where you were really like in threats and you were like really stuck, and how you consider yourself lucky even despite all this.
I'll tell you why I'm absolutely lucky. And I don't want to give too many details away, but in my previous life, I was certainly living, I knew some very dangerous people. I've done some dangerous things. There's been a few expose documentaries on the kind of things I was involved in previously. I've had attempts on my life. People have tried to stab me. I've had people try to kill me. I've had members of my family attempts on them. I've had a very certainly difficult life. I don't consider any of the mental stress of this recent Matrix attack anywhere near comparable to the physical altercations and things that have happened to me. But the reason I'm the luckiest man on earth is because God has given me endless building blocks to build a superhero. He's given me endless power. He's given me endless motivation. What did we say?
Yeah.
He's given me I have endless sources of power. I can sit here right now and recall events that will prevent me from sleeping for 2 to 3 days. That gives me a superpower that other men do not have. They want to go to sleep. They're tired. I can stop being tired for days at a time. I can just have a thought. I can remember. I can sit, close my eyes, and use the power of my brain to vividly remember events, and I will not sleep for days. So
you don't need any drugs. You don't need anything.
I've never taken a drug in my life. I've never tried cocaine in my life. I've never tried weed in my life, ever.
Wow.
I drink a lot of coffee. I smoke cigars, bit of vodka, but I've never tried a narcotic in my life.
Wow.
So God has given me an endless source of power. And when people come to me and say, oh, this happened, I'm really sad, or my heart broke, or this bad thing happened to me, I say, good. Good. Thank the Lord that he's given you this endless source of motivation. You're wasting it. Yeah. That's your problem. But it's been given to you. Nitrous oxide has been given to you. You just have to use it in the correct way. So I'm the luckiest man in the world because all the bad things that happened to me have given me all the building blocks to become the most fantastic man on the face of the planet.
Yeah. You spoke about smoking. So you smoke cigars, right?
Correct.
Shisha?
Yep.
Sometimes. Okay. So, but vaping you hate, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, shisha's tobacco.
Yeah.
Cigars are tobacco.
Right.
It's a plant. We basically kind of know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't smoke weed at all, but I kind of get it's a plant, whatever. Yeah. Right.
But it's escapism. I'd say there's a difference. I'd say that tobacco is like more like a stimulant, and I'd say that weed is more of an intoxicant.
Correct. Well, the reason I don't touch any narcotics at all is because firstly, I was a professional athlete and my blood was tested. Okay. I'm now 35 years old without ever having tried a drug ever. Is there any point in starting now?
No.
Like I've lived my whole life without ever trying these things. Why start now?
Yeah.
Also, when I look at some of the most degenerate, stupid, ridiculous people on the planet,
they're all drug users.
They all use drugs. It's not very often I meet a man who's completely head to toe, has his life in order, and he likes drugs. A lot of rich people take cocaine, yes, and I do know them and some of them, but I still think they'd be better without cocaine. Yeah. That's just genuinely a vice. But if you go to a festival full of brokies, full of peasants and peons, full of people who don't try very hard at life, and they sit there and they idolize these false idols given to them by the Matrix, and they stand in a crowd full of millions of other people like an insignificant peasant and jump up and down, wah, Diplo, wah, whoever.
Escapism,
yeah, just complete peasant mindset. If you look at these people and say, do you like drugs? Guess what they say?
I love it.
Oh, yeah. So I don't want to go anywhere near the peasantry, right? Yeah. So, because that's what it is. It's disgusting and it's peasantry. So that's why I don't take drugs. And the reason I don't like vape is because I don't think that vape is even remotely natural. Because a tobacco is a plant, okay, cool. But if you manage to put chemicals inside of a little container that tastes like blueberry ice.
Yeah.
What even is blueberry ice? Yeah. It's not even a flavor. It's just words.
Yeah.
And then you taste it and you go, that does taste like blueberry ice.
Yeah.
How did they pull that off? Yeah. I can't believe it's possibly good for me. Add in the price that it cost. Add in the fact that it costs $1.
Yeah.
And comes deep from the heart of China. Like you think they give a shit about the West just puffing away on this petrochemical? They don't care.
They're happy.
Yeah. So if you're gonna smoke, at least smoke something. It was grown.
Yeah. And
it's kind of
I'd say like they say the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Yes.
And with tobacco, there's scientific studies about what it is, but with vape we don't really know what's the problem.
Well, the reason I smoke is not because I'm addicted, because I have an iron mind and I can blink and cure my brain and stop smoking completely. In fact, there's certain places I go to in the world where I don't smoke for months at a time. I'm not addicted to anything. The reason I smoke is because nicotine is good for your testosterone level.
Okay.
That's the reason I smoke. I smoke because I like the drug of nicotine, because nicotine is actually positive. The reason I drink coffee is not because I'm addicted, because caffeine is a miracle drug.
Yeah.
Caffeine
it's good for your heart.
Caffeine's a miracle.
Yeah.
I drink endless coffee. And of course the Matrix will come along and say too much coffee is bad for you, too much meat's bad for you. They say anything to make you weak and stupid. Yeah. Caffeine, people don't understand that coffee changed the world. Before coffee and caffeine, we were we were living our lives in rhythm with the sun. We got up when the sun came up, we went down when the sun came down.
We couldn't go against that.
We didn't go against it very much. With the Industrial Revolution and caffeine, the introduction of caffeine, we now had night shifts, we now had double shifts. Think about this. If a job introduces a coffee break, if a company says, stop working and drink this coffee, that's because the coffee you have is worth the time they let you not work, because you make up for it plus some. That's how powerful it is. And what's actually interesting about me is when I think back, my entire reality is caffeinated. I haven't been awake without caffeine in years.
Yeah.
I drink coffee every single day. So I thought about this and I thought, maybe life's better without caffeine. So I took a week off of coffee.
Yeah.
And there was zero advantage. I didn't sleep any better. Yeah. I felt pissed off. I didn't feel like I could focus as well. I was more tired, but I couldn't sleep any better. It was weird. I was just like, this isn't me. Now, obviously, I'm still a hyper-competitive individual. I still went to the gym. I still did my work. I'm still the top G. But I didn't feel as good.
No benefits.
There was no benefits.
Yeah.
So after a week, I had a cup of coffee, and it was like, the miracle is back. It's develop a coffee addiction. It's fantastic. There's nothing bad about caffeine. I have 10 to 15 coffees a day every single day, and I will do to the day I die. And so just to finish off for my vices, coffee is not a vice. I want the caffeine. Smoking's not a vice. I want the nicotine. These are drugs that I believe are genuinely good for me. The only vice, I guess, is alcohol. And although it looks like in some of my videos I drink a lot, that I can drink a lot. I must have the genetic disposition. I can outdrink almost anybody on the planet. I don't truly drink very often.
And you don't get drunk.
And I know I'm a professional. So for me to get drunk, it has to be a controlled, closed environment, or I have to have a security team. I will not get drunk
in open.
Never. It's either in my house with armed guards outside, or it's on a yacht, which
very
is
sophisticated.
It's on a yacht, which is in the middle of the ocean. Or it's very difficult for me to get drunk because I don't like to lose control of reality like that. And 9 times, in fact, not 9, 9.999 times out of 10, if I'm drinking, I either have a weapon on me or somebody next to me does.
That's crazy. Yeah, but I think you're talking about coffee, but I'd say the one bad thing was like the problem is the more you have, the less effect it gives you. So then the more you need to have.
Well, that's what you think.
Right.
You think it gives you less of effect, but when you quit it,
but your body builds a tolerance.
No, it doesn't.
To it.
Nah. I stick to the base. I have 10 to 15 coffees every day. That's what I have every day. It's the same number. And I don't think I built a tolerance to it because when I stopped drinking it, I felt the difference. So I know that it's doing something. Yeah. It does something. I quit. It was only 2 weeks ago I did this 1 week no coffee thing. It was garbage. And I did it because I thought, you see these idiots online. They're like, take cold showers, don't drink coffee, read books. I knew they're full of shit because none of them have anything. They're all brokies. Yeah. And if I were to ever meet any of these people in person, these self-help gurus, I could grab them by their necks and I could wring them to death. I know that they're not men, right? Yeah. I could destroy all of them. So I'm not interested in really talking to any of them, but I thought about the coffee thing and I thought, well, my entire reality is caffeinated. Let me try life without it. And it was terrible. Yeah. Coffee is a gift from God. Caffeine is beautiful, as is nicotine. Ingest as much as possible. And for any doctor who says that it's unhealthy, meet me in the cage and we'll talk about health. Because if I can still beat the shit out of you, then I don't want to hear your opinions on health.
Health, yeah.
Because I think I'll do just fine against any doctor who says coffee is a bad idea.
So, you talk a lot about gym. There's a lot of, maybe you'd say like top G's or like big people who have made it in life, career-wise, money-wise, who have never been to the gym. You look at like, for example, someone like Elon Musk, like quite chubby, or like, for example, not like he was a good person, but like Pablo Escobar made a lot of money, big fat guy. A lot of the people who've made a lot of money. I love gym. Yeah. I believe it's like really good. I go almost every day. Yeah. But for like 2 years. But like, what about these other people who made it without?
Yeah, firstly, I have nothing bad to say about Elon because Elon's top E, right? I got to show respect where it's due.
Top G, Elon.
Yeah, he's top E. But I think that a strong body is a strong mind. Yeah. I think that going to the gym is important for your mental health. It is for me anyway. I train absolutely every single day. I am not on any kind of steroid. I'm not on TRT. I'm not on testosterone replacement therapy. Yeah. I'm not on any kind of pill. I don't even take creatine. I don't take protein powder. Nothing. And a lot of people don't believe that about me. A lot of people say, oh, because there's pictures of me where I'm a big guy. Yeah. I look a bit skinny in a shirt, but they look at me without a shirt on. They're like, wow, you're big. What are you taking,
you're
bro?
Ripped, yeah.
What are you taking? I'm like,
what's your cycle?
Coffee, cigars, a lot of meat, and hard training. Yeah. And I'm 35 and I've never had a single injection in my body ever. God is my witness. And I say this on podcasts because there's some people who believe I'm not natural for some reason. And it's kind of a compliment. But they believe I'm not natural. And I say this now openly. So if I ever get busted doing these things, you can sit and call me up on it. True. I mean, Logan Paul is a steroid head. He's a big, I've told him before I'll fight him if he can piss in a cup, but he can't because he's massively addicted to steroids. Me and him were back and forth. It's a long story with him. And he was kind of cool. And then when the Matrix attacked me, he cucked out and became a complete But like he's talking about a boxing match. Yeah, you have to pass a drugs test. Because if I start taking drugs like you are, Logan, I'll be an animal. I'm God's favorite, right? I'm an animal already. Imagine I was taking drugs on top. Jeez. I'd be an animal. So he's sitting there injecting himself to just get a little bit of muscle. But I never take anything. I've never taken anything. And I say that God is my witness. So I just train hard. And I only train for maybe 45 minutes to an hour each day. Every single morning is one of the first things I do. I wake up and I train. And what's amazing is I never feel like doing it. Bro. I never want to do it. I wake up and I have work to do. My phone's going off. I got a busy day. I have to do stuff. I'm in a big mansion. There's a Lambo outside. Yeah. There's a nice pool. There's 3 chicks in bikinis chilling. Yeah. They're like, hey, breakfast is ready. And I'm like, nope. I'm going to train. And I don't want to, but I still do it because that's the part of being a man. It's doing what you don't want to do.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I want to ask you now. Give me a few stories. I love your stories. Craziest story involving a girl. Craziest fight story. Craziest thing you ever saw. And the last one, if you can give me a crazy story which you've never mentioned before. Ever.
All my stories are very long. That's the problem. They're all like they're all like 30 minutes
They're
long.
podcasts of their own.
They're podcasts on their own. What was the first one?
The first one was craziest story involving a girl.
I've told this story before, I think somewhere. You have to find it. It was when I first went to Romania, I was in a town called Constanta, and there was a girl there who I met who was truly beautiful. She was Ukrainian. And to tell the story properly is so long. It takes half an hour to get the context.
Okay, should we skip that one then?
No, it takes half an hour to get the context. But basically, it's the story of how me and her were talking, and she was trying to get information out of me, and I was paranoid and didn't want to give her too much information, but she liked me, and I styled it off, and I worked out that she was working for the club, and she was getting everyone to spend a whole bunch of money all the time. And I'm the only guy who didn't spend money on her, and we ended up having a summer of love. But it's an interesting story when it's told properly in its entirety.
Yeah, because it's weird. It's
a strange one, yeah. And I tell you what we should do. I'll tell the overview of all the 5 stories, and then we'll, in the comments, to people who want to hear which story they want to hear the most, I'll do a nice 45-minute explanation of the story in depth. So the craziest story involving a girl was her, but she was a very interesting case because it showed the power of female manipulation. In fact, I've changed my mind. I'm going to tell the story. So I'm in Constanta, Romania, right? I'm in Romania. I was there. This is maybe 8 or 9 years ago. At the time, there weren't so many foreigners who went there. I was in a club, and there was an absolutely beautiful girl, and I went over to her and said, hello, it's nice to meet you. You're absolutely gorgeous. And start talking to her back and forth. I said, can I buy you a drink? And she said, yes, I'd like this bottle of champagne. And at the time, I didn't have the kind of money I had now. So I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy you a bottle of champagne. I don't normally drink champagne. I've bought this.
I like beer.
Yeah, I didn't say beer, but I styled it off. I said, so you can't really say that, right? So you have to be smooth about it. I was like, champagne. We should enjoy a bottle of champagne together one day, but I'm about to leave. I just want to come say hello. So we'll do it sometime in the future. You have to be smooth about these things. James Bond, right? Because I didn't want to buy a $1,500 bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
So I styled it off, got her number, left. We're texting back and forth. She seemed like a really nice girl. Absolutely and utterly beautiful. My standards are ridiculously high because I'm not a peasant like everybody else. I'm only associating with women.
I heard only blondes.
I can have anything I want. And I kind of like when they all match. So I live with very, very high standards. So she was truly beautiful. The next day I met her. We had lunch. And again, she tried to kind of hint at this drink. And again, I styled it off. That night, I saw her on another man's table, and they were buying all this champagne. And I was kind of a little bit annoyed because I thought I bagged like a really beautiful girl, and she's now on this table, and all this champagne's coming. It's like, whatever, it is what it is. I left it. I still text her a little bit back and forth. And it became this running joke. She was like, why won't you buy me a single bottle of champagne? You're a man. Why won't you buy a single bottle of champagne? And she was also she was quite inquisitive. She was like, so what's your job? What are you doing here? She was trying to ask me lots of questions, and I wouldn't answer any of them. I'd always style it off with a clever answer. Yeah. Like, what's your job? It's like, I'm a priest or blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we ended up becoming really good friends throughout the summer. And eventually she came open to the fact that she's there specifically to make men spend money. And she had a script, and she said, you're the only, when she drunk a little bit of champagne that night, to be fair, she was a little bit drunk. She said, you're the only man I've ever met who didn't, you're the only man I've ever met who didn't follow my script, Andrew. I said, what's the script? And she showed me it was Facebook at the time. She showed me in her Facebook inbox, the man would get her number. They'd meet the next day. Then after about 2 or 3 dates, she'd say, I can't fall in love with somebody who lives far away. Last time, I've only been with one man in my whole life. Last time I was with a man like this, my heart was broken. And she'd copy and paste this long message. The guy would start begging for her back. She would wait about a day and a half and then hit him back and go, okay, I'll come meet you, but I don't want to come on my own because I'm falling in love with you. I want to bring some friends and we'll go to this place. And they'd go and spend more money on more girls, more champagne, more meals. And it was just script. And every man was falling for it in exact order, and it was copy and paste messages, and every single dude fell for it, just chasing this girl, promising her anything, taking her and all her friends to whatever place she needed to go that day for the commission. And this is like 8-9 years ago. And she said she was making like $20,000 to $25,000 a month in commissions. And she's some Ukrainian chick. She's like 19. Like bought her family a house. Whoa. But like literally enriched her family
Top
off the
G
back. Yeah, top G. Yeah, she was absolutely amazing at manipulating. But it just showed how stupid men were. Every single man was falling for the same trick, all of it, head to toe. And after that, we got a bit closer, and she was we fell in love, let's say. And it was kind of funny because we spent the whole summer together. I never bought her a drink. I never bought her one.
No
It became a thing where I said, I'm not buying you a thing.
Because you don't want to be one of those guys.
Tap water only. So I was like, I'll get you you want tap water? And she was like, oh, made a big joke of it. She was buying the drinks because she had more money than me. So that's one of the craziest stories involving.
But you have to stand out. So they just want someone to stand out.
I think I mean, it was going on for weeks. There's a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying don't buy girls drinks. In fact, if I meet a girl now and she wants a drink, I'll certainly buy her one. It was just a very unique scenario, unique circumstance that kind of led into a story. But the night she was going through those Facebook messages, it was crazy how quickly and instantly men will simp and beg and cry over a girl they've known for 3 days, promising, oh, we're gonna be special. I'll take care of you.
They think she's the one.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
Do you believe in the one? I think it's just compromise.
Yeah. I don't think there's ever going to be one person on the planet you're truly compatible with. I think there's going to be, a few. And if you have your life in order as a man, truly and completely in order, then you're compatible with a lot more people. I think that if you're a man and you're struggling to find somebody you're compatible with, that's probably because you're a loser. If your life's in order, then you're compatible with a lot of women. Like me, for example, I don't need a woman to mother me. I don't need a woman to motivate me, to tell me to stop playing video games. I don't need her to do anything for me. I need her to be happy, positive, protect my spirit, pray for me, maybe little things, make me a coffee, some kind of small gesture. But my money's right, my motivation's right, my life is right. And if she is associated with me, by proxy, she's gonna have a fantastic life. I can't fly on my jet and put her on an easy jet. Yeah. Like she's going to end up on jets. She's going to end up in the 5-star hotels. She's going to end up not having to worry about money. She's going to end up in the best restaurants. Yeah. By proxy, she's going to have a very fantastic life. So you'll find that if your expectations of a woman are for her to be happy and you have a lifestyle that makes her happy, a lot of women are pretty happy, and you get along with basically all of them. It's kind of amazing how that works. It takes a very special type of character to still be dislikable in those kind of scenarios. Whereas if your life is less perfect or your reality is less impressive, then you need a girl who's happy to be bored and then it becomes harder. But I don't have any of those problems.
Craziest fight story. It could be street or in the ring.
I can't tell the story of all right, I'll tell a very rough version of it.
It's exclusive.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss a lot of details. I was about 24, I think. And I can't say why, but I had a problem with this guy, and we were arguing.
Sorry, wait, was this during the kickboxing time?
I was kickboxing, yeah.
Okay.
But I was also kickboxing doesn't make money like boxing, right? When you're kickboxing, I was like one-time world champion. You're making like 30, 40, 50 grand a fight, but you're fighting like twice a year. And it's I mean, towards the end, I was getting 5-6 fights a year, and I was doing better. But when you're fighting like twice a year, and you have to pay your coach and your taxes, you're living in London, you're not rich. So I was making some money on the side, and I had a disagreement with this guy, and we were kind of texting back and forth, and he stopped replying to me. He totally stopped replying.
Cool.
That was it. And I was like, okay. And I texted him a few more times, and he totally stopped replying to me. And about a week and a half later, when I was walking to my car, he tried to stab me. I was walking to my car. Even to this day, if I walk to my car at night, especially if it's raining, I panic a little bit.
PTSD.
Yeah, a little bit. I was walking to my car and I heard footsteps behind me. This is one of the reasons I hate headphones. And anyone I see in headphones is a fucking idiot, because you are so killable with headphones in. You think you look cool with your AirPods in. I can sneak up behind you with a chainsaw, you dummy. Like anyone who has AirPods or headphones in is a soft target.
Just distracted.
I heard it first. I heard feet moving quickly. And as I turned, I've got a scar here on my hand where you can see the blade in my hand. I turned and I took the blade in the hand. And if that was my neck, I'd be dead.
Had you missed that hand, he had his hand made in a different position.
Yeah, I could have easily died.
Oh my God.
I hit him, but it was sloppy. I'll admit it was a bit sloppy. He wobbled. He took a step back, but now we're facing each other. But because I was bleeding so much, because my finger basically came off, because I was bleeding so much, I thought I'd been stabbed properly.
Okay.
And I ran. But I could have been dead. And the only reason I'm not is because I heard him coming. I didn't see him coming. And that's why to this day, if I sit in public and I see somebody with AirPods in, I feel nervous for them. I can't explain it. I get anxious. It's like seeing somebody about to touch a chainsaw. Like you're like, whoa, don't do that. When I see somebody and they're like, I'm like,
And
you are so killable.
They're walking through the street like this.
Yeah, like dude, just it's unbelievable. Because I heard it coming, and if I walk to cars at night on my own now, especially if it's raining, I have to check back and that thing. So that was a story, but that's not a fight. That's the thing about the real world, is that the real world is violent, and you'll often see that the idea of fighting is misunderstood. Even now in the war in Ukraine, I guarantee most of the men who got killed were never in a fight. You're doing your job.
They never saw it coming.
You didn't stand a chance. They didn't even know they're dead. Right? You're doing your job and bang. Yeah. Very few were in a fight and then died.
Yeah.
Less than
combat.
Less than 5%. The truth is about the world and violence is that there's very rarely combat. If he would have got me in my neck, I was a world champion kickboxer. What combat would there have been? I would be dead.
How many muscles you have?
I would have died.
Yeah.
So the idea of fighting is misunderstood. The world is a violent place, and violence is never fair.
Yeah.
And anyone who says, "Oh, I do jiu-jitsu," that you're a dummy. Because if somebody wants you dead, they will kill you.
They will kill you.
And I'm lucky there was only him. Like nowadays they come in groups of 10, and then you die.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. You will die. And that's why I am the way I am. And that's why I also understand there's not a man on the planet who I couldn't get if I didn't want to get him. If somebody hurt my family, I could get him. There's not a man on the planet I could not get. And I know, and I also know there's men in the world today who are thinking we'll try and get Tate. There are groups of men who wake up each day and they don't want me to breathe anymore. And you have to anticipate that and do your very, very best to prepare for that. The world is a dangerous place. The world is a dark place, and there are people out there that are evil. And I don't think many people actually understand how truly evil some men can be. It's inside of us, and yeah, that's my fight story. But I don't like the idea of fighting, especially on the street. I will do my absolute best to avoid and de-escalate. And if it gets past the point of de-escalation, then it goes to pure violence for me. I don't believe in fair fights. I don't believe in, hey, bro, see you outside. I don't believe in any of that shit. I'll pull the strap and just end it all. I'm not playing games with anybody because it's winners and losers.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly,
yeah.
So one of the most recent interviews you did, it got very heated. It was like the Piers Morgan interview.
Yeah.
And, a lot of those clips are going viral. I feel like it was a complete, very unorganized.
Yeah.
He never let you speak.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that whole thing? Because that's like the most recently, the biggest thing interview.
Yeah, it was an attempted character assassination. 99.6% of all of the comments on the video are positive towards
For you,
me.
Commentate W.
Yeah, commentate W. So 99.6%, I know that because the War Room analyzed it. So it was a PR win. I was deliberately softer than I could have been. I could have destroyed him. But the Matrix is looking for new reasons to attack me, and I'm not going to give them rope to attempt to hang me with. So I knew that was a Matrix-led attack.
Because I noticed you were very silent.
Yeah, it was a Matrix-led attack, and I adjusted accordingly. And it turned out to be a massive PR victory for me. Yeah. So thank you very much, Piers Morgan. I win.
You did it well.
I win.
Yeah, you won. Why would you? That's why you agreed to do it, right? You knew
I knew it was a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was a setup, of course.
Like your dad said, I let their lies.
Yeah, I allow manipulation to find out where my enemy wants me to go. Then I use my mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrators. That's another one of his quotes, and he's absolutely not right. I still do that to this day. I'll sit and watch the news head to toe. I'll watch it. New variant. Be afraid of the new variant. I need 17 injections. Okay, let me see here. Let me watch this head to toe. I'll watch all of it. I'll understand. I allow manipulation to find out where the enemy wants me to go.
That's what they want you to think.
And because if you don't know where they want you to go, you might end up there on accident.
And you don't know where you should be on the other side.
Correct, right? If you completely ignore the enemy's attacks to manipulate you, you might end up where they want you to be on accident.
Yeah.
Right? So I watch it. What do you want me to believe? Let me watch it. Okay, I understand. This is what you want.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Damn.
Next. Not doing that.
I'm the opposite.
Completely. You have to allow manipulation to find out where your enemy wants me to go, and then use your mind to break the trap. So I allow people to try all the time so I can understand their aims and goals very, very effectively. I have to understand exactly what they're trying to get out of me so that I can make sure that they fail.
Yeah. So, we talked a lot about your dad on this podcast, and you've talked about him a lot. But about your mom, what role did she play in your life?
My mother's a fantastic mother. Yeah. She's still alive.
Still alive. You still see her?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I take care of her. She's rich now.
Yeah.
I send her money and she panics. She's like, "It's too much." Oh, she has like a panic attack. I'm like, "Chill. Buy a Lambo." Yeah, she's good. She was a good mother.
How does she feel about where you are now with all this commotion?
She's enormously proud of me. She always knew I'd end up here. I remind her of my dad. She knew who I was going to be.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, but she was enormously proud of me, but she doesn't ever give me any kind of advice in any way.
No.
I'm the man, right, of the house. I'm old and big enough now. She doesn't call me really with, I think you should, or it's very much like
Moral support.
Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. Top G. Don't worry about it. I got it. Okay. I hope you know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing.
You would never, in any case, you would never like show her any like weakness or any like, you'd just be like.
Yeah, I mean, I love my mother with all my heart. But she has no guidance she can possibly give me. She's an old lady.
Yeah.
What can she tell me about the realities of earth and violence? And I'm glad she's been shielded from all those things. She doesn't know anything. She just knows that her son is monumentally successful, and I don't want her to ever be worried. I didn't even tell her when this happened. I don't want her to worry about me. I want her to just live a happy experience. I think that's one of the big differences between men and women. When I was saying earlier about how men need struggle and happiness doesn't matter, I'd actually argue the contrary for women. I think that women who are not happy are not very feminine, and that they become masculinized and bitter. And I think it's important for a woman to live a happy reality. I think women should be happy. I think that their job inside of a relationship with a man quite often is to be a beacon of light and to be sunshine and to be a cheerleader. With me in my life, the only way a woman can truly support me is to be constantly positive. I'm fantastic at everything. I can't meet a woman who can do anything for my life besides when I come home pissed off, she's like, hey, a smile, you know, like, and being positive as a female is an extremely feminine quality.
So
and
you don't want, sorry, you don't want females that like too much, like, would you say like you like a female that like challenges you mentally or? But
they can't.
Yeah. But I mean like ask you questions or like.
No, I'd love to have a conversation with my partner about interesting things. I love to talk about things, sure. But my life is too complicated for me to come home to my woman and ask for help.
Of course, yeah.
My life is far too complicated and large. I can't come home to a woman I'm dating and saying, this man tried to kill me.
She'd go crazy.
What's she going to do? Go kill him? Yeah. What's she gonna do? She ain't gonna know what to do. Or I can't come home and talk about the things I talk. They're like, what? What are you talking about? And then they're gonna
unmatched what?
Then they're gonna panic. Yeah. And so then right, it's better if I come home and the man's tried to kill me and they say, what happened to you? And I say, I don't want to talk about it. And they're just like, oh, I'll take care of you. Do you want coffee? Do you want tea? That's just better, right? So I think that a woman being positive and being happy is a very feminine quality. And I think that men like happy women. And I think women should try and live happy experiences and happy lives. And I'll never have conversations with my mother which will make her unhappy. Even if something bad was happening or I had trouble or I had problems, I would never sit to my mother and complain. I would want my mother to live as happy and stress-free as possible.
Peace of mind, yeah.
As opposed to my boys or my team, it's the opposite. I'd come and say, we're this is
get moving.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So when we talk a lot about money, I want to ask you, how much is enough money? Like, because I know right now, you know, I don't know how much you're worth. I don't know if you reveal that. Guess $300 million.
Pretty close, yeah.
I read online it was 335.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but so how much do you think is enough? Are you aiming for $1 billion, or like, are you happy now? Are you? Cooling?
I want 999 million.
After you get $1 billion, they get you. That's what I've
They're
heard.
gonna get me anyway. Before that, probably. I'm gonna try my best to avoid that. But truthfully, after 50, no, not even 50. After $20 million, life is basically the same. If you don't want to buy a jet and you don't want to buy a yacht, you're never going to need more than $20 million, really, because there's nothing to buy.
And you can rent the yachts and the jets.
You can charter yachts, you can charter jets, which is probably smarter anyway. I had a jet, I owned one for a few months, and I sold it. And the reason I'll never buy a jet again,
they can track it.
All these on Twitter are tracking them.
That's
Top G's jet. I'm not having it tracked.
Bernard Arnault, the LVMH guy, he just sold it now
because I don't want everyone knowing where I am all the time.
Yeah.
So
Elon Musk, some kid on Twitter is like tracking his jet.
I know. It's criminal.
Yeah.
So if you don't buy a yacht, which is very expensive, or buy a jet, you can buy a nice house in most places on the planet. You can buy 2 or 3 cars. You can buy some diamond watches. You can buy some nice clothes. And that's all there is to buy. What's actually kind of amazing to me is when I was poor, I thought if I got rich, I'd buy all this stuff. And now I'm rich and I can buy anything I want. And there's nothing to buy. There's nothing to buy. Clothes, I already have too many. My wardrobe's completely full head to toe. Don't wear most of them. Diamond watches, you get 10. How many do you really need? Cars, I have 28. I drive like 4 of them. Like, what's there to buy? Coffee, dinner.
Yeah, true.
There's nothing to buy. So the money is just about influence and power. That's all it's about. And now, because I'm a workaholic and because I refuse to be a lazy person and because I am addicted to my mission, I keep accidentally making millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I don't need it and I have nothing to do with it. But it's just, if I get a good opportunity, I'm going to take the money. And, you know, the war room hits me up. Let's make 10 million here. It's like, okay, let's do it. But but there's nothing to buy. So I'd say once you're past 20, 25 million, that's as good as life can really get. You're flying private. You're staying in the best hotels. You're eating what you want. You drive the car you want. You wear the clothes you want. You have the watch you want. And that's it. There's nothing.
So why 999? Why we want 999?
That was kind of a joke about not wanting to be a billionaire, because I think once you get to billionaire status, you're going to have a degree of trouble. I don't know.
But for me, I want to be like that billionaire, because like it's just so
I don't know. But if you're a billionaire, you need to be aligned to a government. You need to really choose a side.
You need to commit.
I feel like you need to belong to either the Western Hemisphere or the Eastern Hemisphere. You need a degree of governmental protection. You need to be politically aligned in some particular way. I think that once you get to billionaire, you're too powerful to just be a truly free agent, if that makes sense. You have to join a team. Whereas right now, I'm effectively a free agent. I can move back to America if I wanted to. I'm in the UAE. I could also, via my friends, move to Moscow if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could choose any side if I wanted to. But I think if I had $1 billion, I would have already had to have chose a side long ago, if that makes sense. And that
like all the big Russian billionaires right now, they're freezing their bank because they're all billionaires.
That's what I mean. So you need to have.
But have they frozen all your banks? Like, where's your money now?
Yeah, when Hustlers University, when the Matrix was attacked, I did have a bunch of bank accounts frozen. Yeah.
Huh?
I did have a bunch of bank accounts
frozen.
frozen. Yeah, not obviously. I can't say on the podcast how my infrastructure works.
Okay.
But there were some accounts in my name which were frozen.
You lost a lot of money?
9, 10, something.
Nothing. One lunch.
Chump change. Chump change.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what I was thinking? Maybe Elon Musk will continue to buy Twitter, and then once he buys it because you like him, maybe he'll give you his.
Yeah, if I come back on Twitter, that would be epic. That would be good.
Yeah. Elon, if you're listening to this,
yeah, we'll see. God has a plan.
But why don't all the people who have been like censored or like removed, why don't they all join one platform? Because I feel like everyone's joining different platforms.
Like
like Trump has his own thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're quiet on Rumble. Someone else is on another platform.
I get it.
If they all joined one, I feel like that would be really strong.
Well, I feel Rumble, where I am now, which is rumble.com/TateSpeech, I think they're the only video alternative to YouTube. There's a lot of Twitter alternatives.
Yeah.
You have Getter, Truth Social, Parler. You have all these ones. But I think that for video, there's only Rumble.
Okay.
I'm now rumble.com/TateSpeech. I think that Rumble's going to go to the moon. I think they're going to take serious market share. It's certainly a stock to buy. It was $10 when I joined. I got up to $13, $14.
Wow.
The stock. It's tanked in the last 3 days because the Wall Street Journal has started printing loads of bullshit articles doing a Matrix attack.
Yeah.
This podcast might come out retrospectively, so it might be at a different time, but as it stands at the current time we're filming. So it's gone down to like $6 or $7, which is a fantastic buy because it's going to go up to $50. I think they're going to take massive market share from YouTube, personally, because people are tired of the censorship and they're tired of the one version of events. They're tired of the single pole, the one polar world, and they want to see opposite points of view. And people are starting to understand that if they can control all the information and control the narratives, and they can control reality. That's why I call it the Matrix.
Yeah.
If all of the news you read is written by one person and they don't allow opposing viewpoints to exist, then they control and create a reality which is not real. And that's why I call it the Matrix. They sit there and they tell you this is true, this is true. Anyone who says it's not true is deleted. This is the only version of reality we're going to allow to exist. And they're purporting a false reality into our minds to control us. That's why it's called the Matrix.
And this is a bit random, but as we're wrapping up, would you grow out the hair?
People always, like, some of my biggest haters, it's kind of crazy. I get insults, right, from the people who dislike me.
Yeah.
And they go, hey, but you're bald. And I'm like, but genuinely imagine the intellect level of somebody sitting at home, right? They have no money. They have no connections. They're not successful. They're objectively unattractive. They're objectively unhealthy. And they're obese. And they're sitting there looking at a man who's the most Googled man on the planet, physically in shape, desired by all the females he could possibly ever want,
everything that
strong network, multimillionaire, living a dream, and going,
he's bald.
But you're bald. Like, it's just, it's amazing to me. What's crazy is I'm not bald. I shave my head. I can grow my hair out like you if I wanted to.
Oh, okay.
I could grow my hair out, no problem. I shave my head.
Yeah,
I've told the story before on other podcasts of why I did that. But I just think it's truly amazing how stupid some people are. Like, truly how dumb you must be. And to watch all my content and say, he's teaching so many things. I can join Hustlers University or join the real world or join the war room and get close to this man, his organization, and I can have a fantastic life. And instead of doing that, you sit and think,
he's bald.
Like, how dumb.
I felt bad for asking the
But
question.
how dumb are these people?
Yeah.
Like, and unfortunately, the law of averages ensures that half of people are even more stupid than average.
Yeah.
And that's just the way averages work. So there are some extremely stupid people out there, and they just are uninterested in even progressing their own lives. There are people out there who genuinely exist, and you could take their hand and hold their hand and try and walk them through life head to toe, and they'd still just find a reason to
bring the horse to water, but
you can't make it drink. Some people just are born to lose.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do, they're just born to lose. And those are the people who insult me.
Yeah.
The people who insult me are completely and utterly born to lose.
But do you think that these people who are like less intelligent are like more happier? And I feel like intelligence sometimes and people have spoken about this who are like fast intelligent, where it's like the more intelligent you are, the sadder you will be and the worse your life will be.
Yeah, they say ignorance is bliss. I think it's two ways. I know what you're saying. Ignorant people can, to a degree, be happier in certain scenarios than others.
Good.
Yeah,
Just,
because they don't understand what's really happening.
Yeah.
They don't understand about the battle of good and evil. They don't understand about the matrix. They don't understand that they're a slave.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. And they're ignorant to how good their life could be. So they think their life is good. I understand all that. But that all changes when times get hard. Because those people are not happening to life. Life is happening to them. And they are subject to
circumstances.
Correct. I'm not subject to circumstance. No matter what happens, I can change country. I can fight against the wind.
You are the circumstance.
I can disappear. I am the circumstance. Tate arrives and circumstances change. Whereas these people cannot do that. The circumstances dictates their life. And on a long enough time scale, especially in the world we're currently living in, I think that things are going to get a lot harder for these people. And they will see soon that ignorance is not bliss because they cannot pay their heating bill. Whereas if they were less ignorant and paid attention, they'd be able to be living in a mansion like me with heating on full blast. So this is what happens. And it's good until it isn't, being ignorant. And also, I don't think God rewards ignorance. And I don't think most people out here are ignorant. I don't think but I'll say this now. I don't think most people out here are ignorant. I think that most people out here are cowards.
And they choose to be ignorant.
Yeah, I think they choose to be ignorant because they're cowards. They pretend there's no battle. They pretend there's no fight because they're too scared to fight. But most people out here understand everything I say is true. Most people out here understand that there's the shaitan and evil is being forced upon the youth of the children, being youth of the world, and they're trying very hard to destroy society at a fundamental level, and they want to enslave all of us. And I think most people know that, but they're just too scared to say it and too scared to fight against it. So they pretend they don't know it because they are cowards. Ignorance is not our problem. Cowardice is our problem. And I'll say one thing. This battle that we're currently embroiled in is not a battle that anybody can avoid. When God and Satan themselves decide to fight for the morality of humanity as a whole, it's a monumental fight, which is one of the largest fights that has ever taken place anywhere in the known universe. And it's not something you can just hide away from. You can't be an ostrich and put your head in the sand and ignore the two titans of good and evil fighting. You have two choices. Either you understand what's happening in the world today and you're on the side of good and you're fighting against the matrix, or you've accepted all the matrix programming to pretend that there is no battle, and then by extension, you're going to end up fighting against your own mind. Yeah. And you're going to be in a fight either way. Your mind's either right and you're fighting externally against the enemy, or you've accepted the matrix programming and you're sitting there fighting against your own depression, your own anxiety, fighting against your own struggles inside of yourself. You're going to fight anyway. There is no way to avoid this. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to have control of your own mind and control of yourself and fight for God and fight on the side of good against evil? Or do you want to accept the evil programming, fall down a hole of degeneracy and fight against yourself and self-destruct and implode? That's your choice to make. But I think the intelligent choice is to fight against evil.
Yeah, no, but definitely, I definitely think that was right. And on a last note, like, I wanted to ask you actually real quick, 2 questions.
Sure.
One about the tattoos. Yeah. If you could explain them. Yeah. And number 2, I heard I saw some videos that you dabbled into making some music.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. Yeah. You want to comment on that?
Yeah, so I have one tattoo. It's a snake. It comes down here. It's a snake. And we have like a Japanese samurai mask. I'm the cobra. The mask is like my father guiding me towards battle. That's what this tattoo was. I had it done in Thailand quite a long while ago.
While he was alive?
Yeah, he was alive. It took me three 12-hour days. It was pretty boring. I just sat there and drank Chang. Just drinking Chang, getting my tattoo. When it was over, I never even put any cling film on it, nothing. I just went straight, started jumping in the pool, jumping in the ocean, riding motorbikes. So I just left it totally, was fighting with it. Everything is totally fine. So that was that. Music, yeah, I was messing around with music for a while. I only did that because I knew a guy who wanted to be a musician. And I'd meet him and say, how are things going? He'd go, bro, nearly finished my song, gonna finish my album, and we're gonna make a lot of money. I was like, cool. 6 months later, I'd see him, how's things? Hey, bro, almost done with the album. I was like, it's been 6 months. An album. Yeah, but you don't understand. You got to mix the track. It takes time. Mixing a track. Okay, we have computers. What, 10 minutes? Okay. Two days. It's been 6 months, bro. Like, and I'd sit to him and say, it can't take this long. You're just smoking weed. You're not working. And he's like, no, you don't know. So I thought, okay, I'll make a track. So I made a song. I wrote some lyrics and hit a guy up, got a beat, got a mic. I know I'm not talented. Yeah. Talked, blah, blah, blah. I made a song in 2.5 hours. And I started releasing these songs I made in 2 hours. And it was just to spite that guy, just to teach him a lesson about how speed works. It's funny because obviously not because of my musical talents, but because of my influence everywhere else. I got millions of views on my videos. Yeah. So I beat him. Yeah. So it's like, how many views you got? Yeah. 0. And it's not because the songs are good, not because I think I'm a musical genius, but because I'm Tate. But yeah, they're like an hour, 2 hours. I threw them together, and it was just a lesson in speed to make sure that I wasn't making any mistakes. When he was telling me it genuinely took months, I knew he was wrong, but the only way you truly know is to do. So it's like, this has to be a lie. So I made a song in 2 hours. I made a video in 3 hours, and boom, boom. From 9 a.m. till 1 p.m., bang, millions of views, done. And he's still talking about his album. He's probably still talking about it today. Probably doesn't even exist. Comes out tomorrow. Yeah, be ready.
It's coming.
Yeah.
My life is gonna change.
Yeah.
Well, what does like a day in your life look like? What are your daily habits that you do to make your day good? Do you meditate? Do you do affirmations?
No, I don't meditate. I don't do affirmations. Maybe I meditate a little bit as I fall asleep, maybe.
But it's not like a conscious decision.
No. I wake up, I check my phone, I go through my phone for about half an hour. I then go and I start training. As I train, I stay on my phone in between sets. I train every day.
You're always online. I've noticed that. When I talk to you, you're always online. You reply second.
Permanently. 17 hours of screen time a day.
Oh, wow. Can we see your screen time?
17 hours a day. I can't show my phone, bro.
Okay, never mind.
But 17 hours of screen time
I believe you, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if I'm awake, I'm online.
Yeah.
I'm a phone addict, I guess you can call it, but that's where all the important things happen. Yeah. I have an empire that spans across 25 countries. Like I'm on my phone. I know that for peace of mind, I should use my phone less. I don't want peace of mind. I want chaos and war. Conquer. I want to conquer the earth.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan did not want peace of mind. Yeah. If he did, he would have stopped. I don't want peace of mind. I wake up, I train, I stay on my phone, then I begin working. I'm doing a podcast now. If I'm not doing a podcast, or if I'm not driving, or if I'm not fighting, I'm online. And I live my entire life online. If I'm awake, I'm working. If I sit to have shisha tonight at 9 or 10 p.m. and there's a whole bunch of hot girls around and my brother's there and we're all chilling and we're talking, I'm doing all of that while I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I am working at the same time. I can easily sit and manage a multi-million-dollar empire and talk to some bimbo at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. It's not hard. I work.
All
I do is work. All I do is work. I don't know how else to say it to you. People meet me and they're like, "I'm surprised. I thought you'd be like this. I'm surprised how like quiet you are and you're just working." Correct. I have a very, very large and vast empire across huge swaths of the world and different industries. And anything I've ever wanted, if I want a beautiful female or a Bugatti, another one, or $100 million or whatever, I'm going to get it via my phone. Yeah. So I work. That's who I am. It's what I do. In fact, a video just released on YouTube, and it was from here in Dubai. And it's 12 minutes long, and it was behiund the scenes of Tate. And it's a camera guy. Yeah.
Dubai, Tate in Dubai.
Yeah, and there's one of the comments on there is, "Wow, Andrew's always on his phone."
You're in the desert. You're on a table with like 5 girls, and you're literally sitting like this in that video.
Correct. I work. If I'm awake, I work. From the second I'm awake, first thing I do is check my phone. And the last thing I do before I close my eyes, I'm on my phone. I am working.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
And you run on like very low sleep hours, yeah?
I probably sleep 4 to 5 hours a night. I don't necessarily recommend that. I know some people need more. It's actually interesting. I sleep like 4 to 5 hours a night, maybe average, for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then I'll get to a point where I just need to sleep for like 15 hours. Wow. And I'll sleep a bunch. Yeah. And then I'm back.
You catch up, yeah.
And then I'll go to bed at 3. I'm back up at 8, go to bed at 4, up at 8. And then, but after a few weeks, I'm like, okay, I need like a day where I sleep. And I put my phone in airplane mode. so that people, when they're messaging me, they know I'm not getting it. Because
Yeah.
if they're coming through and I'm not replying, people panic.
Yeah.
That's how much I'm on my phone.
Jesus.
I'm on my phone so much that if messages are being delivered and I don't reply within 10 minutes, people start panicking. Is he okay? Have they got him? Have they got him yet?
Christ.
You know, because there's people trying to get me. So I have to put airplane mode, which doesn't really fix it. Because I guess if they do get me, it might be the day my phone gets busted.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's kind of a thing I do for the people who care about me. But yeah, I work. That's why no one's ever going to beat me. There's a whole bunch of other people and like gurus and self-help coaches and these people online. None of them have been through the things I've been through. Most of them are still kids. Like I don't even know how old you are, and I state
I'm
this.
20.
Okay, 20, perfect. So I state this with absolute respect. You don't know shit about life till you're 30. You just don't. You haven't lived enough.
Yeah.
You can be smart, but you can't be wise.
Yeah.
Anybody who's taking advice from a 25-year-old on the internet, you're a dummy. Because at 25, I was stupid.
That's why I'm not giving you advice. I'm interviewing you.
Correct. But at 25, I was dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm the smartest man on the planet. Yeah. So like if you're sitting here and you're watching some guy's videos and just Google his age, don't listen to none of these people, right? They can have opinions. They can be entertaining. They can interview others.
Yeah.
They can give their insights. But also keep in mind, they are still young, right? As a man, it takes a long time. You have to go through a bunch of crap to learn things. Pain.
Exactly.
So nobody can outwork me. Nobody can outcompete me. Nobody has a network like mine. And we're talking about me doing 17 hours a day. I have thousands of people on my work schedule. Like I have 100 people who work for me directly. I have thousands of people inside the war room and 170,000 people inside of HU who, if I were to send them a message, would do it. People I know, how do you conquer the algorithm? How do you do this? How do you do that? The number of hours of work which is done per day in the name of Tate is immeasurable. It's incalculable. It's 5,000 people. Well, let's do the math. 5,000 very competent men doing 17-hour days in the name of Tate. No one's ever going to beat me. The internet is mine. I own it. If you go on TikTok for 10 seconds, it's me. It's Tate Talk. True. It's the same with Instagram Reels. It's all mine. There's no competition. Nobody, doesn't matter how big your ad spend is, doesn't matter what marketing agency you go to, you will always lose to me for eternity. Until the day they finally put a bullet in my head, I own the world. And I will continue to own the world. All of it is mine. And anyone who thinks that I get to the top and slow down is a fool, because I do the absolute opposite. I will crush all of my competition for head to toe. There isn't even any competition. There's nobody on my level. And I'm still outworking all of them.
Yeah, but when will you stop the work and take a step back?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
No.
And that's my competitive advantage. I don't want to do that.
The enjoyment for you is the work, not the...
Completely. Other people are like, oh, I'm here now, so I can now go on holiday. I don't want to stop working. I don't want a holiday. Never. I don't want to relax. Is this relaxing? I'm going to try and relax for the first time in my life. We'll do this here live on the podcast. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Am I supposed to want to do that? what was that? What was it? Like, what is that? Is that it? Is that the dream?
Doing nothing.
Is that the goal? Like, and if I'm not on my phone, my brain is preoccupied and anxious about what's happening on my phone. So it's better to just be on it. Like, I don't want to relax. I don't want to stop.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
No, I don't want to stop. That's why nobody will ever beat me, because all these other people, they want to take time out of their life.
They're working to relax.
They're working to relax, or they want to go on a date with that. I'm at the point now where I'd look at a beautiful woman and go, I can go on a date with her and she's absolutely gorgeous and perhaps we'll fall in love and it'll be great. But you know what? I'd rather work. I don't want to be off my phone.
Yeah.
I don't want to date girls. I just want to conquer the earth. I don't care about anything else. So that's why I'm always going to win.
I think that's a great note to end this. Oh, last thing I'll say.
Sure.
Because I know that they're going to put clips on this and they're going to put one song. And that song is like your anthem.
I know.
Do you play that in the car, like pulling up anywhere?
No.
You don't?
I don't know how that became my anthem. Someone on TikTok just did it. I'd love to I should meet the singer one day.
Yeah, Indila. That's what I was going to say. You know, she's not, your age difference is not a lot.
No, she's my age?
Yeah.
I don't know if she likes me or hates me. She might love me. Yeah. She might hate me. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah. She'd love you because you made her songs viral, but then if she likes your image.
She might be inside of the Matrix with her mind.
I
you don't know.
Make a Tate special of that version.
Yeah, maybe I'd like to meet her one day, but I don't know how that became my theme song. Someone started it and it just became my theme song.
And you never listened to that in the car, like pulling
never,
up.
No idea.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I could not appreciate this enough. You've come on the podcast. You've agreed. You've come alone, by the way, which is insane. Yeah. I thought you'd have a team of people like around me. You drove up here alone in your own car.
Yeah.
There's like 5 people in here that are all from my side. But you know, you're Andrew, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
What's anyone going to do to you?
It's interesting because we're in Dubai.
Yeah.
When I'm in London and I go to a podcast, there's six guys,
That's what I was
security team,
expecting.
armored car.
I was expecting I'd have to sign 5 documents before I start.
No.
You would look through everything.
No.
Man just sat here, asked me whatever you want. He's like this.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Yeah, ask me anything you want. I'm ready. Yeah.
My G, bro. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
Bye, brother.
Thank you.
Guys, if you're watching this video and you stay till the end, I really appreciate your time. Do hit the subscribe button. You can find Tate on...
Yeah, cobratate.com. Sign up for the email letter there. We have a newsletter which is completely free. If you like the things I've said. But cobratate.com, you can access the war room, the real world, and the newsletter. That's where you're going to find the secrets to the universe.
Guys, thank you so much for watching Tate. I really appreciate your time. Take care, guys. See you next episode. Peace.